You guys ever heard of Hillary Sargent? Well, you should look it up because what I'm about to tell you is pretty crazy. There is a network of influencers that allegedly are right, but now you're starting to see they're not, that have turned on President Trump. Now, these networks, some of them were actually embedded in my Telegram chats. I know. The conservative unit used to call Telegram Torygram because they were mad, because they weren't as smart as me, because they're actors and I'm not. I digress. So anyway, as we know, most of these shootouts at schools and whatnot happen from people that are mentally hindered, usually those that are under the influence of HRT medications like transgenders. Well, here's the thing. Just about less than a year ago, a guy turned up at my house. Now, this network knew that I didn't have a man at the house because I had separated and split up with my boyfriend. So the guy just turns up one morning just at my door. I open it thinking it's a delivery and boom, there he is. I immediately shut the door and luckily I did have a man in the house. We called the police. The police, detained him and they committed him for 72 hours at a mental institution. I have the email from their psychiatrist asking me to talk to them, which I did not partake because I don't know the guy. Personally, I know of him. I just don't know him. Anyway, the group that groomed him in the Hillary Sargent wave, they've groomed a lot of people nationwide. This is the threat. Is all over X. It's all documented, right? We've documented it. But like one of them pretends that they're super patriot. They go by the handle Unapologetic Christian. Unapologetic for Chinese money from North Dakota, maybe. But they use manipulation and deceit to manipulate people into doing things for them. The same thing with this Ashley Joe 1117. Look her up on, the bitch is totally infatuated with me. The shit she puts out should be considered cyber stalking, cyber crime. But because she's in another state, I could never get anything done with law enforcement. And so that's the only reason it's trans state. But now they've escalated it to targeting President Trump and his cabinet. And this person is at the center of it. So I'll be releasing all those texts. I suggest all of you who have been involved with that group, get your P's and Q's and everything ready. Because the FBI is going to be coming knocking on your door soon. Because I don't know if some of you are involved or you're just stupid. And that mysterious person that tried to shame me for getting him arrested for turning up my door, you should be checking yourself too. I'll be putting that out tomorrow morning with a full report with all the messages targeting the president. Secret Service, you should be looking into my DMs. You have my permission and you can go find all that information. You guys have access to my thing anyway through a FISA warrant. So get happy because I will make it public because I think it's very important to understand the real dangers, not the Benny Johnson bullshit dangers. Like I'll be releasing some posts so you can see just how aggressive they've gone. They've asked for the president to be terminated. Very descriptive. And as I was saying, this Ashley Joe person not only posted my home address and my files and chastised my children for being victims and even myself, that person actually put out my social security number, which has caused me severe issues. And it was put on X and no one protected me. Now, I think that one of the profiles pretending they're me with my, trademark name is on X. I've complained to X about it, but nothing. But I think the Secret Service should actually look into what is going on because I've mapped out the GNN networks in my first book. And this is accurate data. It's not me being upset that someone's coming after me, kind of like Ali Akbar. I wasn't mad that he was talking, other than the fact that he looks atrocious as a human being in whole, spirit and image. I can separate the two. I can compartmentalize very, very well. Now, this is a huge network that's embedded within the right. We have people that are going to the White House. The PPO should be aware of this. We have people that are posturing as Antifa experts that are all part of the same network. It is extremely important. And I have texts, and I know someone sent them to law enforcement for us. Thank you. But they are targeting the president, and they do not look threatening. Most of these people look like patriots. You look at their social media, a lot of them are okay. This guy had a mental break. And so they need to look at all the past information and communications he's had with just not only those two profiles that I stated, but a lot more. There's a lot of them on X and on Telegram, and we have a lot of that too. This is a very big issue because we may be seeing some kind of ambush to the family of President Trump by this individual. So I'm putting it out there just so you guys know. And just to be clear, Yes, the person is putting out threats. Yes, the person turned up at my house. Yes, the person has been targeting my kids. Yes, 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 yes. But it's the network that's trained him. Those are the people that need to be arrested. This guy can get committed and be put on medication because apparently he has mental issues. But the people that, like Ryan Mata, like Alex Jones, and all these people that have a network of all these hindered human beings that have communication with. Millie Weaver communicated with him to cause me harm because she was mad. These are very, very evil people. I don't think anyone understands the biggest threat we have is from within. Oh, who else did they speak with? They spoke with everyone. I mean, the FBI can have it. X can hand that shit right over. From previous to Twitter to now. And Telegram is riddled with it. You can't even imagine the private messages. I've heard video where they're envisioning to stomp my head and my brains fall out, or someone gang raping my kids while I watch. This is sick shit. And these are the people that you thump. Yeah, Benny Johnson got a letter and it was threatening. But I have people turning up at my house. Making very credible threats. And no one is coming to my aid. I want you guys to pay attention because it seems like the postures are just posturing and the real threats are being left layway. And again, the threat, yes, it is the guy that's mentally hindered, but it's the people that are training him. Look up Hillary Sargent case. The FBI should look into that Telegram group, the owners and what they shared, and all the spin-off side chats. There's a lot there, from crypto fraud to whatever. I know it looks like it's a shaming me channel. I really don't give a shit. No one's going to tell me who I am. No one is. But I'll tell you what, that's the source of their connection. And so maybe, Cleveland police can get on top of it. Maybe the FBI can work with them, because over the years I've made these complaints. There is one person in Massillon, Ohio. They go by the name something Rumbus. They're the ones that actually gave my social security number to some of these profiles. I believe that they were linked to some guy named Ross Elder, a former contractor, very big anti-Trumper. As I said, we have a big network of Green Berets and salty VA people, and I have their IDs, those that have compartmentalized, I've already given this stuff to House Judiciary Committee anyway, that have actual clearances that are working actively within our government to cause harm to our president and our nation. Attention, because they're the ones that are encouraging the violence against the president. And I'm really worried about his family, because I'm looking at the signs and it's headed in that direction. So they should beef up security that way. And be careful who you let into the White House, man. Be careful who you let into these events. I don't care if the biggest influencer vouches for them. They're probably in on it too. Also, if I was a former congressperson that went to prison, I'd be careful who I associate with, no matter how innocent they look or what excuses they have. The texts say different. Associating yourself with someone that put a hit job on someone is not a good look. It could implicate you. Or maybe you're working for the feds to get all the deets, from the poisoning to the targeting. I don't know.
All right, welcome back. The U.S. Secret Service now says it is facing the most dangerous threat environment in its history. Got about 10,000 threat investigations open so far just since the month of January. That's up 40% compared to the same period last year. Let's bring in Jonathan Fahey, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security. Jonathan, I think a lot of people think Secret Service and they think security for the President of the United States. Their job, their portfolio goes much broader.
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. I don't like it any more than you may.
Look at your young men fighting. Look at your women crying. Look at your young men dying the way they've always done before. the hate we're breeding. Look at the fear we're feeding. Look at the lives we're leading, the way we've always done before. When they shot the man who said peace could last forever, and in my first memories they shot Kennedy. I went numb when I learned to see, so I never fell for Vietnam. We got the wall of deceit to remind us all that you can't trust freedom when it's not in your hands, when everybody's fighting for the promised land. I don't need a civil war. It feeds the rich while it buries the poor. The power-hungry selling soldiers in a human grocery store ain't that bread. I don't need a civil war. No, 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 no. Look at the shoes you're filling. Look at the blood we're spilling. Look at the world we're killing, the way we've always done before. Look in the dark we followed. Look at the leaders we followed. Look at the lies we've swallowed. And I don't wanna hear no more. Bloody hands of the hypnotized who carry the cross of What's so civil about war anyway?
And I read pretty much what you read. It would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him. And Comey was there. And Clapper. The whole group was there. Brennan. They were all there in a room. Right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they look. He's guilty. It's not a question. You know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents coming. So President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Crooked is a $3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report. It was made up fiction. And they used that. Now, the one thing they weren't able to do was to, and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is the press refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted, an admitted fraud. She paid $12 million, and the Democrats, for that report to a wise guy named Christopher Steele. He wrote a phony report, and they wanted to get that report in before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only after, substantially, like a month and a half after the election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing, because the election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit, we can't put this in.